For decades, there was this one ghost in the sky. An aircraft so advanced it was practically untouchable, a symbol of absolute power. So, what happens when the hunters finally figure out how to see the invisible? Well, let's dive into the story of one single ambush that completely changed the math of modern warfare.
The F22 Raptor. I mean, come on, this wasn't just another fighter jet. This was a geopolitical statement with wings. The undisputed, top-of-the-food chain apex predator. For an entire generation, this jet was the ultimate trump card. It was so far ahead of its time that, yeah, for all intents and purposes, it was invisible. Which, of course, brings us to the multi-trillion-dollar question, how in the world do you hunt a ghost? For years, the terrifyingly simple answer was, you don't. You can't. You just lose. But on one very specific night, that answer changed. Big time.
All right, so to really get how this ghost was finally hunted, we have to understand why everyone thought it was invincible in the first place. This is Act 1, The Silent Hunter.
Okay, so picture this. The date is March 19th, 2026. It's 2 in the morning, pitch black, high above the Strait of Hormuz. We're in the first few weeks of Operation Epic Fury, and American F-22s are flying around with what the sources call total impunity. I mean, they go where they want, they strike what they want. It's just another night at the office.
And that whole night at the office vibe, well, that was built on a 30-year foundation of pure dominance. We're talking 3 decades where the entire U.S. air power strategy was built on one simple belief. Our stealth jets go wherever they please, totally unseen. A whole era defined by this one piece of tech. But here's the thing about advantages, right? While one side was busy perfecting its cloak of invisibility, the other side was very quietly engineering a brand new way to see right through it. So let's get into Act 2, the patient hunter.
Deep inside the Zagros Mountains, an Iranian air defense crew does the last thing you'd expect them to do. They go dark. They turn their big, powerful radars completely off. See, they know that lighting up a traditional radar is basically like screaming, "Hey, I'm over here," to an F-22. So instead of shouting into the darkness, they just wait. And they listen.
Okay, and this is where you can really see the genius of the trap. A normal radar is active. It's like shouting in a dark room and waiting for the echo to bounce back. The problem is, the F-22 is designed to be like a soundproof wall for that shout. It just absorbs it. But the Iranian system, IRST, is passive. It's not shouting at all. It's just listening. Quietly listening for that tiny, unavoidable whisper of heat that every single jet engine leaves behind. So the key piece of the puzzle here is IRST. That's infrared search and track. The easiest way to think about it is like a massive military-grade thermal camera. It's just scanning the cold night sky for tiny little hotspots. And because it's only receiving information, not sending anything out, the F-22's fancy warning systems have absolutely nothing to detect. The pilot has no idea he's being watched.
But here's the really clever part, the master stroke. See, IRST is great for telling you where the jet is, but it's not perfect for telling you how far away it is. So they fused it with something else, these short, low-frequency L-band radar pings. These waves are too long, too fat, you could say, to be fooled by the Raptor's stealth coating. They just sort of bounce off the jet's physical body. So now you have 2 pictures, one of the jet's heat and another of its actual shape. You put those 2 together, bingo, you've got an undeniable, high-quality target lock. So, the trap is set. The ghost is right in the crosshairs, and it is blissfully, totally unaware. It's time for Act 3, the ambush.
The next 7 seconds. These 7 seconds change everything, and it happens faster than you can even process it. At 2 a.m. and 15 seconds, the Raptor banks. Its engines flare, creating a perfect hotspot for the IRST to see. 1 second later, the data fuses. They have a lock. The very next second, a Sayad 4D missile rips out of its canister. It flies for 4 seconds, silent, hypersonic. Then, just for the final moment, the missile's own seeker goes active. The pilot gets maybe 1 second of warning. And then, impact.
And this, right here, this is the detail that sends a chill down the spine of every single stealth pilot alive. No radar lock. Warning. There was no beep, no flashing light on the screen, nothing in the cockpit to say, hey, you're being targeted. Just imagine that. You're the master of the sky, completely oblivious, flying into a perfectly laid trap at 1,000 miles an hour.
As the source material puts it so chillingly, the pilot had only a heartbeat to react. A single, frantic beat of your own heart,
And that's the only thing separating total control from a sky erupting in a cloud of fire and shrapnel. That fireball over the Strait of Hormuz, well, that wasn't just the end of a single airplane. It was the ignition point for a global firestorm. So let's get to the fallout in Act 4, the geopolitical inferno.
Because this one event raises the single most terrifying question for Western military planners. For 30 years, the entire idea of air supremacy was built on a simple premise: we are invisible. In the moment of that impact, that foundation didn't just crack, it completely shattered. And suddenly, the question isn't just tactical, it's existential. And the shockwaves, well, they were instantaneous. That whole portfolio of incredible stealth aircraft, the F-22s, the F-35s, the B-2 bombers, trillions of dollars of technology, all of it suddenly looked vulnerable. Decades of strategic planning, all based on the idea that our planes owned the sky, were suddenly obsolete. This wasn't just some small shift. This was the dawn of a very dangerous new era in warfare.
You know, for an entire generation, the Raptor was the one predator that couldn't be hunted. But this one ambush proved a timeless, brutal rule of warfare is still very much true. For every shield, someone, somewhere, is forging a sharper spear. The silent ambush of March 19th may have killed a ghost, but it gave birth to a much more terrifying question. What comes next, and what hunts in the skies of tomorrow?